Should you decide to move up to the Elite Plus, that is to get the Elite functionality plus the billing functionality, you will be getting additional features, additional tools in order to be able to manage your billing activities. Managing billing is not going to be an additional task that will be substantial, as if you simply keep your information up to date, the billing is going to become a very easy process. With the billing, we get two additional features. One of the additional features is the employee file that will allow you to print for each employee their own personalized information as far as the employee premium, as far as the employee contribution, taxable benefit, and deductible benefit. The total by employee will be generated normally at the end of the year. That will include the total amount being paid for the insurance coverages, shared by both the employer and the employees, as well as the taxable and deductible income that needs to be added to the income tax report of your employee. This obviously will become a very, very valuable piece of information that can be shared with your employer and that they will share with their employees. Two additional functions that appears into the listing. One of them is called invoicing. So when we click on the invoice information, we will now be getting a list of all the invoices that were generated for that specific client over the years. Obviously, if I look closely right now, I've got 46 different invoices that were generated for the company, which is a consolidated billing. We remember, and if we did not remember, we do have a situation where this particular client has two billing, one with Standard Life and one that is self-insured. Therefore, if we ask for the invoice contract, we will go from 46 to 93 different billing record, and therefore we now have split billing for both the self-insured and the Standard Life contract. By clicking on the company invoice, obviously we only get the consolidated billing for each of those carriers. Now, should we decide that we'd like to view or review any of the contract or any of the billing that were done in the previous period of time, all we need to do is pick and choose the one that we'd like to see, and the system will provide us with all the information associated to that specific billing. Again, we will be able to see if there's a specific change that was made, and we know here that there's an adjustment for an OG as they are put into a red color. And from there, we could have a shortcut directly to the employee if we needed to review the reason for that increase or decrease in premiums. So therefore, all we needed to do is click on that, and then we get access to additional information. We could regenerate any printout of those billings that were generated in the past. As we are able to see here, we are able to define what language we'd like to print that report. So although you might be working in English, your client might prefer to get the report in French. So therefore, you are in a position to select the production format or language for that specific client. Obviously, here we will be getting different report. One of them is the detailed invoice report. The second one is the summary by division, then a summary by class. We get a change report and a system message report. So let's review some of these documents together. The first one here, we see the information about by division. So each of the division, we have all the additional information here that are required. We are able to quickly review that for an OG, we did have an adjustment, and we see here that the adjustment was $127.34, which could be, and most probably is, a retroactive calculation or adjustment that was made. We see that we've got the same thing with Daniel Baudouin, again with a $2.98 adjustment. The next report will be a summary by division. So this will provide us with all the information required, and these will be total without tax or with taxes, including the adjustment and so on, for each of the benefit, and we'll get the insured volume, the invoiceable volume as well, and we will have all the additional information here in regard with the number of single couple, single parent family, or total members and whatnot. We will also have all the information about the amount, the taxes, provincial sales tax, or if they were other taxes such as GST, PST, or whatnot. The next report will provide us with a summary by class, and that summary by class will provide us again with some additional information, including the information here about the payments of taxes by provinces. So obviously the Allegroupe system will manage taxes across Canada, and therefore we will be able to provide you with all the information related to that. The next report is the change report. So these are all the changes that occurred during the month, and the system will give us a breakdown of all the changes that were required. So we are able here to view that Anne Auger went probably from single to family or something of the kind. So we are able to see here the changes that occurred during the month. So for one here, we have a salary change. The other one here, we changed the status to couple, and then we made other changes here to single and whatnot. So again, the system will provide us with a list of all the changes that occurred during the month. The next report, which obviously in this case here does not have any effect, is the system changes. So when an employee reached an age of 55 or 65 or 70 and there's a change, there's a reduction formula or a termination formula, the system will also provide us with the adequate reporting so that we are able to inform the employer that will then inform the employee that there will be some changes in the coverages as far as their benefit are concerned because of the fact that they reach an age that has a contract change or a contract reduction or termination. The next report is going to be the payroll deduction. The payroll deduction will allow us to get a report showing us all the information related to payroll deduction. These payroll deduction will be based on the number of pay period during the year for each of your client, and you could have different pay period for different division. So the system here will provide us with all the information related to those payroll deduction for that period of time. At any point in time, of course, you could go and double click on any of the employee to find out in detail what are the amounts, and then you could again double click to see how the premium was split between premium with tax, without taxes, what is paid by the employee and what is paid by the employer. As we are able to see here quickly, we have a split that could be 50-50, but then again, we did not have a split 50-50 because of the short-term disability that has an amount, and also for the long-term disability, while the employee will have to pay all of those premiums, the employer will pay the rest of it. So as we are able to see, the system is smart enough to actually generate all those report and all those calculation to ensure that we've got the maximum tax deduction applicable and that we will not contaminate our regime because of the fact that we actually paid a penny on the disability insurance that was a non-taxable benefit. Again, the system will generate the various report that you need, including the employer, employee contribution, the taxable benefit, and the deductible benefit. Each of those will be generated for the pay period that is required. In this case here, we probably had a monthly payroll deduction, but if we had a weekly payroll deduction, the system would have generated the same information for you. So as we can see, when we get into the management of the billing functionality, the system provides us with a lot of additional information, ensuring that we are easily able to manage any contract information, any billing activities that are required. The system will also provide us with the billing information for any specific employee. So if I click on list of invoices, the system will provide me with a list of all the invoices that occurred and affected Sylvie Baudouin over the year. And again, we will be able to see when there were changes with a retroactive or a proactive calculation. So the system will highlight them in a red color. As you can see with the Elite Plus, the Allegroupe allows you to do billing in a very easy and friendly environment. Furthermore, as you were able to see with the pricing structure of the Allegroupe, you are able to get all that flexibility with a very minimal monthly invoice.